And welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. No need to really even cue this one up, Dr. Lopkin, so I'll let you just take the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the story of the week is obviously the midterm elections and the complete lack of any blue wave. The Democrats, not only didn't they have a blue wave, they didn't live up to historical averages. They took 27 seats in the House, lost the Senate. The average loss of the incumbent party in midterm elections is 36 seats. So they didn't even do
Wait, how many seats did they lose?
27.
They only lost 27?
So far, yes.
Okay. What was the majority to begin?
Net 27 because
yeah,
they
I thought so.
Because they picked up in the Senate.
Okay. Okay. So no, wait. Let me just figure this out. They're up 27 now in the House, but they lost more than 27 seats. I mean, the Democrats are up 27 seats, right?
No, the Democrats, I think, are up 29 seats in the House, but they lost 2 in the Senate.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yes.
So but they're up 20, so they gained 29, or they gained more than 29. Now they're in a position they're up 29, so they lost they gained. How many seats did they actually gain? Is the question.
They won 29 additional seats.
Okay, there you go. In addition, so they were at X, and now they're X plus 29, which gives them the majority. That's really a pittance. That's not even a majority enough to do things with, because you're going to have blue dog Democrats. I know that's kind of a term that's kind of antiquated, but there are some that might actually go along with some initiatives, correct?
Yeah, the Democrats right now have a very split party because they've got the folks that were already in office that have their agenda, but now they've got all of these new Democrats who they think they were voted in to be progressive and socialist. And so the Democratic Party isn't even united among itself. Then they don't have the Senate, they don't have the White House, they don't have the Supreme Court. What they can do is really limited.
Yes, but it's also a great showpiece, because I think your point off script was quite good. They have no ability to do anything, but Trump can still point to them for the two things. Trump can point to them for potential slowdowns in the economy, things of that nature, especially the economy. Plus, it's a great showpiece for Americans to witness the insanity which is the modern-day Democratic Party. Agreed?
Right. I mean, right now, the only thing that the House can do is be a roadblock. That's it. They can't accomplish anything on their own.
Because Trump, so gridlock is fine. He has already the deregulation. I think another tax cut. I'm not so sure that's even a good thing to do with deficit considerations. So he's got rid of the regulations, and he already has the tax cut in. So gridlock doesn't really hurt him that much, does it?
No, it really doesn't. The only downside is that the House has yet to vote on the updated NAFTA agreement. So the Democrats can throw a monkey wrench into that.
That's a problem. Is it really a problem, though?
It can be, yes. That could be a real problem. The thing is, I think the Democrats are actually going to rein themselves in. They realize that the way they handled Kavanaugh both lost them the Senate and lost them seats in the House that they would have otherwise gained. Nancy Pelosi has already said impeachment is not on the table. They're not looking at that in terms of dealing with Trump. I think they realize if they keep doing investigation after investigation and they keep going after Trump, all that's going to do is guarantee Trump the presidency in 2020 and probably cost them the House.
I would agree with all of that. So overall, what might have been in terms of a Senate, an actual blue wave, and what is now reality, I think Trump dodged a bullet, correct?
Yes, he did. The Democrats could have done better if they had just stayed home and kept their mouth shut.
Agreed. So, and also I'd like the turnout. Turnout usually reflects is much more skewed towards the Democrats. Obviously, they picked up seats, but a lot of those turning out were Trumpites. I mean, it wasn't a huge blue wave, and yet turnout was huge.
Turnout was huge on both sides.
That's what I'm saying. So both sides were energized, which is again the power of Trump, because usually the incumbent party sits home. They already won the election. Yes. They don't care, but obviously they did care. So
I think something else to point out. Those Republicans that lost their seats were the ones that campaigned away from Trump. Of the 11 candidates that he campaigned for in the final weeks, 9 of them won.
Both from obviously the House and Senate.
Yes.
Now, aren't there 2 races that are still in play?
There's a couple of races that are still in play. One of which is actually so close, there's probably going to be a runoff, and we won't know the winner of that until the end of November.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I think overall it plays right into Trump's hands. I think what is the narrative now from the mainstream media and the Democratic liberal organization, because it was not a blue wave any way you look at it. Sorry,
no, except for the most diehard liberals, most Democratic pundits have admitted there was not a blue wave. They've accepted that. And now,
so you think? What do you think? How do you think it foreshadows the 2020 election?
I think a lot of it is going to depend on what the Democrats do next. If they go after Trump, if they push this, they're going to lose it all again in 2020, because they'll energize Trump's base and they'll show that they're ineffective, so they won't be able to generate excitement in their base. If they manage to cooperate with Trump, they'll probably be able to hold on to the House in 2020, but they're still going to lose the White House.
I would agree, because they have a very weak bench. Dr. Lopkin, thanks so much. Right on once again.
See you next week.
You've been listening to Carnivore Radio's podcast. You can catch us here every week. Carnivore Radio is part of the Xvadio podcast network. You can listen to the podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Xvadio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can listen to us live every Friday at 4 o'clock on WESU 88.1 Middletown, Connecticut. You can also catch us online at WESUFM.org. We look forward to hearing from you, and see you next week.